Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Grow and Clip Bonsai for Seniors. My name's Tom Novak, and today we got a Menards find. All I can hear in my head is save big money at Menards. Today is February 13th of 2022. Oop, let me get this a little bit centered for you. We got it's 7 degrees Fahrenheit right now, or minus 14 degrees Celsius is our wind chill. But our temperature, that's our wind chill temperature, but our temperature is 17 degrees Fahrenheit or a minus 8 degrees Celsius. Today is Sunday. And what I found was a Carmona, retusa, or a Fukien Tea. The plant was grown in by United Nursery in Homestead, Florida. So I'll show you what I got. It was a little pricey, but hey, farmers need to make money too, the nurserymen. So I have not seen one like this with a trunk like this. This is the Fukien Tea. And this is what I paid for it, $22.88. You're going to say, Tom, that's a lot, but check out the trunk. This is a trunk and a half. I cannot believe it. So there's our little Fukien Tea. It looks pretty good. So what I can do is I'm going to clip it a little bit right now to get it into shape. But you can see what I did is I double bagged it when I got in there, and I was only able to bag it up to here, and you can see how the cold started to turn the leaves black. So about up to here it's pretty good. So I'm just going to cut right above the good part and cut off the dead part, and I don't know, maybe it'll live, maybe it won't. So right now I'm going to take my scissors into peroxide to clean them. Let me get a little closer so you can see what I'm doing. And I got my water here for the cuttings. There we go. So right now we're going to just take the dead part off. And you can see how it's still green underneath the leaves, but the top of the leaves are what's turning black. But I'm going to stick it in the water anyway just to see if it'll grow anything. So we're just going to cut it back for now. We're not going to do a major cut. Just like that. And all you do is run your scissors down. What I do is you try to run your scissors down to where the leaf is, and then you cut. That'll give you always a good cutting edge. So you should just go down to where you think you want to cut it. So it's going to, and just like that. No problems, right? Just then and there. The ones you can see, you can cut. We're just going to let it get bushy. I don't know if they'll root, but I can make a nice little forest out of it if they do root. But for now, we'll just do that. And as you can see, it did flower. And here's all the little berries starting to form on it. So if you got a Menards by you, check it out. Now it's in a pot, but there's no drainage holes. So we're going to have to do a repotting on it. So once I find a pot for it, we'll trim it a little bit more. But see, you want to get inside. We want to take this one that's growing onto the trunk, and we can leave it. Maybe not. We'll just cut it. If I can get in there. Just like that. We'll cut it off. And it's a little bit bushy. But that's alright. I want it to grow. So this way here, when I do the root pruning, if we're going to go into it and prune more, we'll do it. But right now, I have to find a pot, and then we'll we'll take it apart and prune it, because I don't want to keep watering it, because they got it in there for a purpose, because they didn't, you know, when they sit in the store shelf, sometimes they forget to water, but at least there's some water in there, so the plant can absorb it. But it looks like it's pretty good. It's in there solid, but it's a nice thick trunk. So let's put it on the side. And then here's my vermiculite. We'll get Mr. Elephant, because I wet it down to save some time. And I took my ice pick and heated it up real good with a, what you call a cigarette lighter, with the blue spectrum, so it would get the holes in there, because these are just cellar trays and the plastic is brittle. So we'll take our Clone X. Reading the directions, it says you don't have to, you can just dip in there. So what we're going to do, you got to find the brain. Remember, the brain. Where is the brain on our plant? The brain is right below the leaf here. Right where the leaf juts out. So we're going to cut that at a 45. We're going to take this leaf off. Here's another piece of brain, and the brain either tells it to, oh, I got to grow flowers. Flowers or branches. And if it's cut off like this is, oh man, I got to stay alive. I got to get some roots growing here. So we can do that. So all I do is dip into the Clone X up to where the brains are. And then I'll take and just put it in. This is just straight vermiculite. That's all it is straight vermiculite. Now this one we can take right here. We can cut here. Now there's no name on this, no variety on this plant, so I'm assuming it's not a patented plant. So that's why I'm doing this. There we go. And just stick it right in. Right into the vermiculite. You want it in there pretty deep, and here's another little piece. We'll cut it right below the brain. No, it's not a zombie movie. Brains, gotta eat brains. No, this is just the way plants are. If you feel a little pressure going in, just take your chopstick, make a hole, put it in. There you go. Now this is a nice thick trunk. So all I'm going to do is, you can see I got it right below the node there. So I'm just going to cut it right below the brain, and then all you're going to do is take your fingers and strip it, just like that. And all I'm going to do is stick it into the desired depth I want. I'm going to put this about here, away from the little guys, as deep as I can get it into the tray. Let's get another one out. We got the brain there. Remember, right below the brain, 45. Strip it. You don't want to cut it flat, because if you hit the bottom, then it'll sit flush on the bottom and it might not take up any water. So at a 45, at least you got it has that little bit of space to take up the water for you. Okay, dig a hole, push. Let's get another one. This one's pretty good. Strip it, dip it, stick it, just like that. Okay, take another one. We'll go to the brain, just below it at a 45. You're going to strip it, dip it, and then with your stick, your chopstick, make a hole because it's a thinner piece of cutting. And let's get the other one out. Now this is the one that got touched by the cold, because it was cold this morning. So I'm just going to go right about here, 45 it. You're going to strip it, dip it, and stick it. Remember, strip, dip, and stick. Okay, we got this one nice and close to the brain, so all we're going to do is strip it, dip it, get a little bit deeper on this one, and stick it. And I think we can make another one. This one's nice and close to the brain also. So we're going to strip it, dip it, and stick it. Now you're going to say, Tom, this is a little one. I know, but you can still see the brain about here, and another brain right about there. If we can get it into the camera better, or into the tablet camera. So we're going to cut it there, and we're just going to dip it. This one doesn't need no stripping. I mean no cutting that much. So we're going to dip it. We don't need to strip it, but we got to stick it. Just like that. And we got one teeny little baby one. So we're going to cut it at a 45 right below the brain. I don't know if you can see it. It doesn't have to be exactly at a 45. You don't have to pull out a triangle and measure it. Let me get all this stuff off. So we're going to dip it. And then we're going to stick it. Remember, strip it, dip it, and stick it. So now we're going to take our fingers and push it into the soil. So it's got to make good contact with the soil. Just like that. Make sure you got good contact with the soil. Now when I find a pot, we'll do the Fukien Tea. I have to find something, because it's a beautiful little plant, and with this cold I don't want to do nothing to it, because right now it has to recover from being driven home in the cold, even though the car was warm, going through that cold outside. Because I was at Menard's last week and I didn't see these in. These must have just came in, and they got some beautiful Fukien Teas, so that's pretty good. Just like that. Just make sure you get everything pushed in real good. Just get your fingers in there and get it in real good. And with vermiculite, it's a nice, loose, porous soil. Yet it absorbs. And it should help you out. So I don't know if this one will grow. Kind of doubt it. But that's all you got to do. Didn't need the water no more. We'll close up our cap. And usually when you get done working on your cuttings and trimming your plant, you can always use your peroxide, get it all cleaned off, whatever bacteria might be on there. Okay, let's get Mr. Elephant out of the way. Oh, we can get Mr. Elephant and just give it some water. Even though I got this nice and wet. Vermiculite holds the water good too, and it's still porous. Just like that. And then I got this knife sharpener from Ironwood, because you're always good when you choose an ironwood tool, but it's got a nice diamond. You can feel this one is nice and smooth. So I think this is the 600 grit and this is the 400 grit, because I think the lower the grit, the coarser it is. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But then all you do is, you're going to, after you're done with your cuttings, I'm just going to take the fine edge and just give it a little cut, just a little sharpening like that. And a little sharpening like that. And that's all you needed. Now if I haven't cut sharpen them a lot, then I'd use the coarser end and take any big nicks out or anything that's on there. And then why do you cut this way? Why do you cut this? Sharpen it this way instead of coming this way? Because when you come back, then you'll throw a burr in over here. You don't want no burrs in there. But if you do that by mistake, then you just take your tool and just go like that, and it'll take the burr right off. And this, if you buy straight from Ironwood, put my last name in there, NOWAK, and you'll get 10% off. But it's a good tool. Here's the number of it. Ironwood Tools. That's the number of the tool. It's looks like IW1490. But it's a good tool, and it comes with a little plastic sheath, so you can just use it that way. So let's see what happens to our Fukien Tea. The trunk. It's a nice little bushy tree, nice little canopy on the top with it's going to develop some berries. But right now I want this to stay where I'm in the basement for a couple of weeks, and then as it gets warmer out, we'll find a pot and we'll repot it, and then we can do some root work, and then we'll see how these guys turn out. So what's today? Today is Sunday, and you know what Sunday is. It's family night. So remember, let me get this cord there. It's Sunday night. Get the kids, your wife, grandma, get grandpa, sit back, relax with some nice hot pot of tea today to take the chill out of the bones, because right now it's a damp cold. So it must be coming off the lake real good, so that dampness is in the air. It's worse than if it's a dry cold, because I can get days where it's dry and I won't feel bad. And today with the moist, I got it in the knee, so I got to rest my knee, and in the shoulder a little bit, so the arthritis. So I'm going to sit back tonight with your family. Shut the phone off for a couple hours. Tell everybody don't bother you. It's family night. From 6 o'clock on, you're with your family. Sit back, relax with the kids. Put on some old Lawrence Welk shows from the 50s and 60s. Sit back and relax with the kids and let them listen to music when music was music. So take everybody, sit with your family, sit back, relax, and enjoy each other's company tonight. Take care, everybody.